nyama yomwe yompikire banja matama sungamvetse muntu ukalemera akuti wakwima ukasauka unangakwima zavuta wasembanitsa zizimba wasembanitsa zizimba ukaona akuti niyetsi ukanenepa akukuyanja mankhwala akukuyanja mayaravi amayo koma Malawi amama nikale banji moyo adakala banji muntu amama sungamvetse muntu adakala banji muntu amama sono nikale banji moyo nipage banji life amama sungamvetse muntu adakala banji muntu amama muntu ndiyese koma bali wina muntu obanda umuntu muntu mbadala ukafuna kuongola uva tyoka aji mwene umbawi wafuta kuno timafuna matala uzawiri tivala ukapata ungovaye kuno ndekumtaya mandipatsa vakale wolukula vanyuwani sungamvetse muntu muntu opanda umuntu sungamvetse muntu muntu opanda umuntu nikale banji moyo adakala banji muntu amama sungamvetse muntu adakala banji muntu amama sono nikale banji moyo nipage banji life amama sungamvetse muntu adakala banji muntu amama
Ah ouais. Arranger $100 000. Poignée au gagon. You need more deal, you need more deal. You need one now you want the you need one there. Oh Pabo
Deré Roland, salut à toi papa.
Ah ouais.
Kabeyulo, assez gagne non.
Now you Pabo number. Now you Pabo number. You need one there. Oh Pabo oh Pabo now you Pabo number. Now you Pabo number. Mao, Danny Yanio, Mao, Danny Yanio, Danny Yanio, Danny Yanio. Now you there, oh demo. Now you there, oh daddy.
Mama Veki solo nyokwane nyokwate Asiata Palisco Anse
Mao Dani Yanio Mao Dani Yanio Dani Yanio Dani Yanio
Gaël Gisèle, t'es habillé.
Na you there, oh there, you the one there, oh Pabo you the one there, oh Pabo
Hippolyte Bayala, merci à toi papa.
Now you the other man. Now you the other man. Now you the other man. Now you the other man.
say oh.
Now you yeah, now you the one day oh babo consuma, you the one day oh babo consuma. Child who can listen his mother advice, this child always carrying wrong direction. Don't be in a child. You are the windy wia. Okwe bobo hunromo. You are the windy wia. Wakwe ma windy wia peye. Na dida nowa. Ye mo nolo. Oye niya. Ye biyo sawe dalo.
Tere Noël adou. Maman Gao Robertina.
As of God. 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 As of God.
Un enfant qui n'écoute pas les conseils des parents finit toujours par emprunter un mauvais chemin. Papa Nambo Clément, monsieur le maire depuis San Pedro, merci à vous.
Boye di go, anyway there was. Already know Lulu and you the way on with it. Say yo, on with the Auleo, let the rock galeo, on with the Auleo, Lutomi Juleo, on with the Auleo, Sisi yo Josio, on with the Auleo yo. Hey, awe, Mother Annie Willie, and so Mama Josephine Ziritae, Bro Willie Adeaye.
Maman Nanou, awon ini amele o.
Watara Usu, Onanzam. Ah, you the one day I will live. Ah, you the one day I will live. You the one day I will live. Agbabo Kosule. You the one day I will live. Agbabo Kosule.
Benjamin depuis la série, merci à toi.
Ato solo. Awe day I will live. Benji Montagnon. In America, Adele, Kabeyu Silese, Massin Giro,
Solo Traoré, merci à toi. Christophe Gueye-Téré, assez au bras. Yahi Jérémy, Papou Kwaouse Kouké, assez.
Moi c'est daddy yo. Moi c'est moi yo. You the one day Agbabo Kosule o.
Big manager Tere Noël.
Tiawan yo. Jefferson Tanya. Gay Bros. Otetele. Sekou Japete. Victor Gebay.
Docteur Gao, depuis Gongloe. Angèle Nyokonte, merci maman. Colonel Draman Touré, Jean-Paul Bamelin, merci à vous mon papa. Bobo Soulé, Ao, Bobo Soulé.
Ah, yeah. Unega, above, Areva, Chiso. Money finit go, your 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 money finit go. Your money finit go, your money finit go. Oh yeah, Mulia Gwen, Mumbayo, Mumbayo, Mumbayo. Mulia Gwen, Mumbayo, Mumbayo, Mumbayo. Mulia Gwen, Munjayo, Munjayo, Munjayo. Mulia Gwen, Munjayo, Munjayo. Guerrero, Papa la Mufaya, la Rapeo, Yamola Mufaya, la Guerrero, Yamola Mufaya, la Rapeo, the Baba people coming, we'll catch you, Baba people coming, we'll catch you, nobody like you, like I do, nobody like you, like I do, better days ahead. Better days ahead. You enjoy. I'm a prover. Find a prover. Come a prover. From a prover. Find a prover. Find a prover. From a prover. Your money finit go. Your money finit go. Your money finit go. Money finit go away. Your 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 money finit go away. Mubayo. Okay. Mujayo. Baba la Mufaya, la Guerrero, Baba la Mufaya, la Rapeo, Yamola Mufaya, la Guerrero, Yamola Mufaya, la Rapeo, the Baba people.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome back. We've been away for a little bit. Maybe 2 weeks. Maybe we've been away for 2 weeks or so. Yes, we've been away for a little bit. And I think it's a good thing for us to be back here. I was away 2 weeks because I was extending my business to another city. So I'm going beyond where the city I am. So I'm going to another city. So like I'll spend more time to be able to hire staff and be able to put, have the client situated. So that's why I was out for 2 weeks. Great. We'll see what comes up. We'll see if we can change the time later on, or we'll not change the time. I will let you know. But so far we have no plan to change the time. We'll continue to broadcast the way we are broadcasting the things we want to do. So today, I'm not going to stay too long here today. I probably will do 1 hour, maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes and be done today. And then the rest of the time will be allotted back to the station, Flash FM. So if you are listening to me anywhere in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, wherever you are listening to in America, I want to say welcome. And what we are about to discuss is mostly political, but we'll add some humanistic part of it. So I tend to engage all of you today, those of you who are watching and those of you who are listening to me from Grand Jeddah. I want to engage your mind today, and let's try to figure out in a way. Let's reason together. So many times we talk past each other. We don't conversate. Sometimes you say something, it's like you're talking to somebody beyond the person and you're talking to the person. So we pass each other, we talk past each other. We don't really conversate. And so I believe conversation is good, because if we conversate, we will be able to understand each other, and we'll be able to understand the ideas that people are expressing to us. That is why I believe that we should always conversate. And people, this political season that is on, we are going to be having election, another election, a democratic election in 2023. So far, Liberia is on the trajectory of doing well. Ghana now has adopted a system of electoral processes. They have been having cycles of elections, same as Nigeria. These people have moved beyond these
military coup and stuff like that. They don't go to military coup anymore, like Mali, like Burkina Faso, like all of these smaller states, or smaller counties, or all these bigger counties that continue to, like Guinea. They no longer go into these kind of dangerous national state who practice, like overtrain someone. We just saw people overtrain people in Africa. Every time we open our radio station, we listen to BBC, we watch the CNN. People overthrow governments. So the issue of overthrowing government, the grievances that are raised for which they overthrow governments, some of these grievances can be settled through the ballot box. I get it that some people don't believe that the governments that are in power will listen to them. So they believe that the best way to change the government is to overthrow the government through a military coup d'etat. I have a different view of this coup d'etat thing. I don't think it's a solution-driven action. Coup d'etat, I don't think it's a solution-driven action. Well, people may think that it brings solution, but it always yields backwardness. Every time there's a coup, there is a breakdown in the processes, in the national administrative processes, and then new people come. Either some of them will loot the bank, or some of them will kill people, or the whole process will just begin again. It always set the country backwards. So our country today, we are moving towards a democratic process. We held an election, and after the war, Charles Taylor won that election. But when he was president, so many things happened that were not good for the country. And there was a Bush war that came, rebel war that came, Model and Cllr forces, they all gang up and against Charles Taylor. Then Charles Taylor was booted out. He flew to Nigeria. So after Charles Taylor, the most recent democratic elections that were held were the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. But let me just tell you something. Some elections, the fact that Liberia is a democratic country yet, there are, in our international politics, one of the things that were discussed is people tend to believe that the country is democratic when elections are held. It doesn't make the country democratic. There are too many tenets of democracy that have to be adhered to be able to say, well, our country is now a democratic country. And some of those include the rule of law. Is the country a country of rules of laws? Do the people obey the law? Does the government execute the law? When government officials break the law, does the police deal with the government official just as much as it deal with the common man in the street? Now, most of your answer will be no. So if that is missing, if we don't have that happening in our country, then our country is still thriving, is still trying to get to the democratic process. So you and I know that if a senator, if a representative drive on the side of the road, they will not arrest him. But if an ordinary man does that, he pound the car and arrest the man. Or there are so many things that the rule of law is being hampered because people, the police, the court system, the justice system for that matter, and the justice system include the police, the courts, and the correctional or the prison. So removing prison from there, these people who are government officials in our country do not even obey the law. That means if you see a country where government officials break the law and nothing happened to them, it means there is an absence of the tenet of democracy called the rule of law. So people will say, oh, we got laws in this country. We got laws in the country. But the last time I checked, if a little man does something and he can be arrested. But if a minister, cabinet minister, does the same thing, the police just play a blind eye, as if to say they didn't see it. Some of you in Liberia, some of you in Monrovia and other part of the Liberia, you have been arrested by police officers of crime that other people commit and do not get arrested. They just look at it and just let it pass. That means your country is not democratic yet. Another tenet of democracy is called good governance. And good governance is not just, oh, the president or the minister there, they can go to work regularly, they go to work on time, and they do their work. No, that's not just the good governance. Good governance, I'll give you a simple example of what good governance is to show that our country is not there yet. We are still trying to become a democratic country. Let me give you an example of what good governance is supposed to be. You go into your office, you call your girlfriend or your boyfriend on the government phone, government telephone, and you talk with your boyfriend for 30 minutes, 1 hour using government property, government phone. That is bad governance. Now, when you talk about good governance, it doesn't mean that the ministers are the one that's supposed to do good governance. The president is the one that's supposed to do good governance. Or the legislators are the one that's supposed to do good governance. Good governance means the way you manage the area that are put in your care. If you are a director for resources, or you are human resource director, and the people gave you an office computer, instead of using your office computer for the purpose of the company or of the government entity, you use your company computers to do your private work. Some of you look at videos on your computer. Some of you play even X-rated movies on your computer. Some of you use your computer to do a job that has nothing to do with government. That's bad governance. So if these things are happening, not only that, and one of the big things, and somebody will just tell you right away, is corruption. Now, corruption, the reason it's bad governance is because it's a mismanagement of government, of public fund, public property, public money. So let's say, for example, in Gongloe, for example, I don't know whether they will have a locking company there now. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying something. Let's say we have a locking company in Gongloe. The locking company supposed to give, I'm just giving you rough figure. It doesn't mean it happened. Just give me rough figure. Say that the locking company gave the office of the superintendent $1,000. The $25,000 was as expected to be used to recondition the roads in Zwedru. But instead of reconditioning the roads, the superintendent, when he received the money, he took $5,000 for himself and kept it. The lawmakers heard about that $25,000. They all came to Monrovia. So when Marshall Denekan gained $2,000, they gave Zupana $2,000. Then all the representatives, they gave them $1,500. Now the money that left now maybe is $10,000 or $12,000. Now tell me, if that $25,000 was supposed to be used for road construction in Zwedru, or to road conditioning in Zwedru, when all of them finished taking their cut, the project was no longer possible because it had been undercut by stealing. So the management of the money now have become a problem. Management of any public property is called bad governance. You govern means to manage something, to govern something, to manage it. So if they give the superintendent $25,000, for example, now don't go run to the superintendent and say the other day gave you, say they gave you $25,000 and you ate it. No, I'm not saying they gave him money. I'm giving you an example here. So they gave the superintendent of Gongloe $25,000. What if the superintendent actually used that money, get a contractor, and they recondition all the roads that have $25,000 condition? You think the people of Gongloe or Zwedru will be happy? Yes, they will be happy. But if he take out $5,000 and took it for himself, he had deducted $5,000 from the actual work the $25,000 is supposed to do. That's bad governance. That mismanagement of public fund is also bad governance. So if you think Liberia is already there, that we don't do stealing anymore. Now, I just read something on the Facebook. And Facebook things, I take them with grain of salt. Sometimes they can lie, sometimes it's true. But I read something on the Facebook, and guess what it said? Somebody stole 250,000 from Fina Bobo, from Fina Bobo house. They said one of the boys that stay with her, that live with her or work along with her and stay in the house or so, stole the money. 250,000. That money was coming from the Free Port of Monrovia. And I'm told, according to the information, I'm not sure, and I can't say it's true here because I don't have the facts yet. I don't have all the facts. According to the information, every week, the Free Port of Monrovia send their contribution to the President's house. Every week. So I don't know how much they send every week, but this week, Fina Bombo came for the money, 250,000. Now, let me just be honest with you guys. 250,000 is not a small money. It's not small money. So for Fina Bombo to go to the Freeport and get 250,000 to take it to the President's house, she was able to take it earlier, and he said she was tired. She said she was tired, so she decided to go home and then carry it this morning to the President's house. But then the boy that lived with her stole the money. Now, I'm not saying it's true, and I'm not even discarding the story, but I'm just saying these are the things that make Magay to get sanctioned today. So when the U.S. government said that people were paying royalty, people were paying quota to Magay, so who you think the quota was for? For George Weah. For George Weah. Because the U.S. government knows better. Let me just tell you something. The U.S. government knows better. And I see people all in the streets somewhere there in Magibi, I think Kagata, they want Magay to be senator of oh my God. They want Magay to be senator of Magibi County. And I don't know, thank God he's not coming to Grand Jury because I'm going to be one of those who will tell the youth to demonstrate against him. Because this is something we call slap in the face. Slap in the face. The U.S. government just sanctioned you for corruption. Then you're spending money again for election. So when you do that, what's going to happen? Let me just tell you something. My understanding is the Malinsky sanction. The U.S. government has modified that if they sanction a government official and that person found other ways to get into power, like what Magay is doing, the United States may, I'm sure the word may, because that's what they may withdraw their support from that country. Now, somebody will say, Chinese people can come here. There's nothing that America stands for, that China stands for. America and China, they are two different, or completely two different institutions. China, their interest is to make money. Make money. That's the interest. America's interest is to protect humanity. And if you want to know, check around the world. Everything that is happening around the world, if the government killing own people, Chinese people don't go there and stop them. America will go there and say, no, you can't kill your own people like this. Look at what is happening in Ukraine. Russia, a very big power, is throwing bombs in Ukraine. And America and the other person, no, you can't do that. Even though you got the power to do what you want to do, but we're not going to let you do that. We'll support them so they can fight against you. But what did China do? China is giving weapons to America, to Russia to go and fight people, fight small country like Ukraine. That's the kind of people we are talking about. That's the kind of country. So the two countries are not the same. The two countries are not the same. The America is better than any country. You can put them side by side is better. In fact, the power that usually tell people the power America has, if that same power was given to a country like China or Iran or the countries that are very dictatorial, they will end up taking over the world because they will use their power to clamp down any country, to subdue any country. But that's not what America. So if America is against you, like in the case of what is happening now in Liberia, the sanctions on the 3 government officials. For those of you who might not look at the international relation part of it, You think it's a simple thing. Oh, yeah, they don't like George Weah. That's why they put sanction on Maggie. No, that's not the reason. They put sanction because they want to protect the country's money so that the government can use the money wisely to benefit you. To benefit you. You know how it benefits you? When the government build roads with that money, it will benefit you because you'll be able to take your better ball from the farm and take your better ball to the market, either take it to Monrovia or take it to anywhere and sell your better ball. See, but those of you in Grand Jada right now, your road cut. Supposed to live on the road 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 days before they can get to Monrovia or to even get to Ganta, where the quota start. But here's the problem. We who are the suffering people, those of us who are suffering are the mean people who are supporting the government officials who are stealing. Can you imagine that people will be beyond Maggie and say Maggie will go? Let Maggie, let Maggie. You not like it, we'll like it. You like it, we not like it, you like it. So the Maggie steal government money. The U.S. government said, no, Maggie, you're stealing too much. You cannot be doing that. People can be paying royalty to you. Ministries, government, or public corporation, they send you money just so they can keep their job. You can't be doing that. So you cannot travel to America. Any property you get in America will seize it. I don't even know whether Maggie get property in America, but you can't come to America. So maybe Maggie don't want to come to America, so you don't care. So you think it's not important. And those of us who are the victim, those of us who all who got nothing. Some of us go to bed with our food. Some people sleep hungry. Maggie is stealing the money and making himself rich overnight. And then the U.S. government said, no, we cannot allow you to do this to the Liberian people. The same Liberian people are beyond Maggie to make him senator. Something must be wrong with Liberians. Something actually must be wrong with Liberians. If I look at it, I think Liberia gets some kind of sickness that is in people, that is in us, that we don't see the good of our country. We don't see the good thing that other people try to do for our country. We always like evil. I don't know why. Why our people always like evil things to happen. They like bad people. The people that are bad, the people that kill, the people that steal, the people are the ones that our people like. They like this kind of people. Something wrong with our country. Yeah, somebody say Maggie is a greedy man. Yeah. Why? Why is it that why even tell me, those of you who are suffering, nothing you get. You jump beyond Maggie to be senator of Maggie County. You are going to look out. I don't know where you want to go now because it is confusing me. You go to Bon County the other time. You're going to Bon County now to be senator. He wanted to go to Maggie, Bopolo, where he coming from, where he was born. We don't know what happened, what not happened. He's not going to Bopolo, we're not going to Bapolo County anymore. Now he's going to Maggie. They say Mark come from Maggie, so he's going to Maggie. Listen, the point is not what are the county he wants to go in. The point is, what happened to our people? That only the bad people they can like. What happened to our people? Why is it that only the bad ones, the people who are rogues in government, the people who can steal government money for themselves to make themselves rich, people who kill people, are the people that our people like? You came a man, you came a power, I will vote for you. You're not no boy, or you no boy, I will vote. Can you imagine some of you sent your children to school? You sent your child to school. Why you send your child to school if education is not important? Then you look in your child's face. Yeah? Some of you, your child is going to high school. Your child in high school. They want to graduate from high school and come and go to college. So you can be a better man. You look in your child's face and say, both people not important. Or both people, they're not good. So I will tell the man who not know both to be my leader. So why you send your child to school? Those of you who continue to say the kind of thing, you know, boy, not know, boy, I will vote for you. You need to stop sending your child to school. Say it's a good thing. Say illiteracy is a good thing. You know, I like one professor said one time, the guy said, you know, we asked the man, what are some of the risk factor for illiteracy. You know what? So you know what it's called risk factor, right? When you not know book, what will happen to you? You know what the guy said? The guy gave a simple answer in the class. The guy gave a simple answer. The guy said, the only thing I can say is illiteracy is expensive. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? We're talking about illiteracy, we're talking about expensive. What do you mean illiteracy is expensive? The guy said when you are illiterate, everything is big for you. Everything is hard for you. Anything you want to do, you got to find someone to do it for you. You want to write simple letters, somebody got to do it for you. Even when you buy crops, those seeds that are in a bag, that they put seal the bag, the seed, you got to show it to somebody to read it for you. You can't make any decision on your own without asking someone to help you in the modern world. You don't know anything. But you know what? The danger is the people who do not know book. They are the ones that make decision for us to take the bad people to be our leaders. Hello? Yes. I'm on the air. I'm on the radio. You can come on the radio, please. I'm telling you, the poor people are the ones that encourage the government officials to steal. They like the rogues. And George Weah is so corrupt. And that the George Weah they like. You tell me, all our 200,000 Finabomo carrying it are true now. Me a little bit honest. The politics being here, you gotta be honest inside. That only people can believe in you. So me a little bit honest. I'm not gonna be like other people who are part of the lies and lies and lies just to make their name and to say, well, they want to be popular. No, that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is to educate my people with the information that is correct. So if I'm giving information that I'm not sure of, I'll tell you this information, I'm not sure of it, but that's what I heard. So you can make your own decision. If it is true that Peanut Bomo was taking 200,000 to President Weah's house, how is it a benefit to our country? You president, they put take money from somewhere instead of passing it through the banking system. It's not your own money. You got more than 8. The George Weah budget now is 10 million. 10 million. It may offer budget. He alone, it won't offer 10 million now. What kind of money you want again? They put take money from other company and bring it to you as a quota. If it is true, these are the things that destroy our government. And that's what Mange was doing. They said Mange used to take money from no company, no corporation there, no government corporation, or parastatals. They used to pay their due to Mange. You think the due that Mange was receiving, that only Mange was eating it? All right. So what I wanted to do today is very simple. Yeah, my man Sange Ogbese. Illiteracy is very expensive. Very, very expensive. It's just a bachelor. When you bachelor, it's hard for you. You know, somebody say, me, I want to be bachelor. I want to be but bachelor, you spend more money. Some people scared to marry because they think they will spend money. No. When you marry, it's easier for you. You and your wife, you can manage stuff. But bachelor, it's hard to live the bachelor. Some of our tribe will know what it means before we got married. So I ain't even thinking about returning to bachelorhood anytime soon. And I don't even know what I want to return there. At the first thing, it's too hard. So poverty is a disease. Now, it's not the kind of disease that can kill you like that. It's not the kind of disease where you go to hospital, you lay down there, the doctor looking at you. Poverty is a disease that affects your living standard. When you're poor, any foolish man can come and use you. They bring small money, you follow it because you're poor. You're not able to get any money on your own. And most of our people, when they are poor, then they go around and only take back our rights to elect people who they were not going to elect normally if they had something by themselves. Tell me, guys, you think me, Gibson, if I was living in Redwood today, some of the people that you're elected, you think I can cast my vote for those people there? Some of the people you all voted for in our county, for example, not just Grand Juliet, there are a lot of counties that get bad leaders. Those people will not claim my vote because I see through them. But because some of you, by the time they bring one bonus in, you all vote for them. because that's the only thing you look up to. You are poor. You ain't able to get bundle of zinc on your own. So they may bring bundle of zinc to you, it bust your head. They may bring bag of rice, bust your head. They may give you like one whole bag of rice. Oh, the men are good men. They may bring bag of rice, divide it on us. Me, I get one bag of rice. The other person, me, I get two. Oh, I'll pound the other side. They give me one more again. I get two. Then you think you get beaten now. That big thing for you because they gave you bag of rice. So it's big in your eye. But the man goes there and get thousands of dollars for him and his family. When the man come again, when the man know that a time coming get finished, then he can't again get you back already again, put it there again for another 9 years or for another 6 years. Poverty is a disease. It makes you people to make decisions that are so bad. Normally, who will vote for George Weah? Normally, who will vote for George Weah? The man is just corrupt. He know how to do the government thing. He rely on other people's brain. So as a result, even they doing bad thing, he ain't able to change them. Can you imagine? They may be able to change them. If the U.S. government were not going to put sanction on Magay, Bill Tuare, and Sabina Siba, they'll probably be there. We are not able to change them. The man is so bad in decision making. He see people like they are gods. They are gods to him. You know? So, and you see Georgia like your God. Georgia see them like their God. So these people are super gods to you. People like Mangere, they were super god to you. People like the finance minister, and they are all super gods to you because Georgia see them like God, and you see Georgia like God. So those men, they are super god to you. When you poor, you think about your future. That's what poor people can do. When you poor, you think about your future. Let me tell you something about my papi. My father went to Morovia. Those days, he was a young man. He didn't know book. Nothing. He didn't know book. Illiterate man. Expensive life. When you illiterate, expensive. The papi went to Morovia. He used to be the Ghana people dumber. They used to sleep under the Ministry of Justice. The guys want to play there where all they can sleep. Because he saw somebody, his friend. His friend told him, Mamela, go. They will go under the Ministry of Justice there and sleep there. And not no door, nothing. They just go there and honestly under there. Then in the morning, soon in the morning, they go and beat the Ghana people dumber. My fellow, illiterate man. He no book. They were beating the dumber. One day, the small thing where the Ghana people gave him, he bought one hater. I own story, he told me, like, I'm telling you, and my mom told me that same story too. But the Morovia story, he told me, but the village story part, I come in there. So he bought one hater. Those days, some of you know, you all know the hate. And one when you buy the red hater for your woman, hey man, they not do good. He bought one of that red hater. He decided he was going back to the village. When he went to the village, the same hater that he carried, and my mom on a story now. The same hater he carried from my mom because he didn't bring nothing with him. He used to tie that hater when he go on the farm, he tie it to go brush the cocoa farm. My father decided to brush cocoa farm until he got cocoa, until he started selling cocoa. And I remember the last time before the war came, he was able to carry 33 double bags of cocoa, apart from the one he bought and carried. This man, he was illiterate. He didn't look at himself and say, because I'm illiterate, so I will remain this way. You think about your future. You think about your future when you not know book. You think about your children's future when you not know book. That brings me to Councillor Tiawan S. Gongloe. Talking about the future of your children. The future of your children. The future of your children. That brings me to Councillor Gongloe. He Councillor Gongloe pledged for governance his pledge for governance. He got what we call the education plan, and we got the agriculture plan, and we got the health plan. We have the national security plan. We have a youth development plan, all of those. One of the things he said, and one of the things that were put together in the first 100 days is to look at the education program of government and say, hey, what is working and what is not working? What part of the education program is working and what part of it is not working? If we gave from ABC to 12th grade free education, how do we make the education quality that when my child graduates from high school, you'll be able to write a fitting letter? Right now, as is, the government is not putting premium on quality education. So they got what they call their free college tuition, but they're not putting premium on quality education. Now, putting premium on quality education means you have to hire the right teachers. You have to pay the right salary for the teachers. You have to have education materials available. You have to make sure that students who are in school are conveniently in school, and they are learning what they're supposed to learn, and people are not selling grades to them. When you sell grades, you go to jail. And I can promise you, Councillor Tiawan S Gongloe is brave enough to put any teacher in jail that you begin to sell grades to students. I used to teach with ACFR, high school. I used to teach English. I used to teach science, language, art, and science. I was so overloaded anyways. And one day, this sister, hey God, Gibson, God bless you. This sister, she's not clever. And so her grade fell to 67 at the end of the year. And so usually during the school year, you call the student, you review their grades with them. And that's what I usually do. After certain periods, I review your grade. Look, you made 80 last month. Your average for this semester, for this test, was 80 last month, last period. Now you drop to 75. Is there anything wrong? Is there anything that you need help with? Are you sleeping well at home? In the morning, do you have to work before coming to school? When you go home, do you study your lesson? I will ask the student the question. So I brought this girl in. I said, look, from this period to this period to this period, you keep dropping. Now you are in 67 as your average for the year. So here is what I can do for you. There is a test exam that is coming. You need to make not less than 90 to be able to cover this, to be able to make a passing mark. If you make 90, 91, 92, I'm surely going to give you a passing grade. Ah, Jesus. Some of the students encourage the teachers to do nonsense. The guy say, Brother Gibson, if it costs me to give myself to you, I will do it, but I can't fail. I said, what? She said, Brother Gibson, I can't fail. She said, I'm not studying in my second year in the class. I can't fail the class. I got so mad. I felt offended. I felt very offended. So, and since I felt offended, I did not want to show to her. So what I did was, instead of giving her one test, I arranged 2 different tests for her. Now, I could have taken advantage of her. The problem we have in our country, the teachers' education, we're talking about quality education. How are you going to get quality education if the girls are sure that they're going to give their body to you for their grades? They're not going to get quality education because they know at the end of the day, they're going to give out something to you and you're going to give them passing mark. So then they are not qualified to even reach the job market. They're not even qualified to stay in the job market. The people will be dominated. As a result of that, they don't get job. You graduate from high school, you graduate from college, you don't get job. What's about the boys? If the boy in the classroom knows that he can go and get money and bribe you for you to get grades, what do you think he was studying for? He will not study. And this is what we try to discourage. And for me, I know education for him because I didn't get money to bribe any teacher. I didn't get money to bribe any teacher. I didn't even have money. But I know God gave me my brain. And I used my brain very well. But there were other students in the class who were making the grades that we were studying and they were making more than us. There's a girl that always made 86, 87. But when the test time comes, we see her test 30, 40. So now 15. So I asked her when I said, Cecile, and I'm not going to call her last name. I said, how do you get 86 at the end of the test time? She said, Gibson, this place, if you want to study to make your grade, I will also get my grade any way I want to get it. Don't forget about me, yeah? Just go ahead to study and make your grade. And at some point in time, me, Kwaya Zali, Daniel, Zoe, all of those guys were about 7 guys that were in the front line. We wanted to report her to the principal for instruction, to the assistant principal, deputy principal for instruction. We wanted to report her. But suddenly I came to my man, let lead again. So that's what happened. Now, at the end of the day, we all graduated from high school. This girl will not get a job because she's not competent to get a job. There are many of you today, you graduate and you can't even write a fitting letter. Many of you today, you graduate, you cannot even fit in the job market. I mean, job that will make you to express yourself by writing. You can't because you did not allow, and this is why Councillor Gongloe is putting premium on education. So in the first 100 days, a committee will be set up to give the councillor an absolute understanding of what is lacking in the education sector, what needs to be done in the education sector. Is it because of no textbook? Is it because of low pay? Is it because of bad environment for the school? What is responsible for the low rate of education in our country? Why is it more people are failing in mathematics? Is it because our mathematics teachers are not up to the task? Is it because our mathematics teachers, they make a text so hard so the student can fail and then they bribe them for money? Or the girls fail and they have to have something to do with the girls to get a girl grades? Because there are some teachers, they think they gave you during the class time for test, they make it so difficult for you so you can't pass. Then you'll be able to get the money for makeup. Those of all on the side, that makeup in it. That makeup in it on the side. You can't do makeup in it. If the teacher wants you to do it free. It tells you go and do your test. Makeup now on the side. And so we can compare this side with Liberia because this is completely two different things altogether. One way up there, one way down here. So what Councillor Gongloe is doing in the 10 points agenda for the development of Liberian education is to make sure that the education that will be afforded to students will be such that it imparts quality into the student so that there'll be competition. So he's going to be organizing an award system where if students, those days we used to have what they call high school scholarship competition. Like if you are in a high school, you want to make certain grades for you to be considered for government scholarship. These days, I don't know whether they even have scholarship for students from high school. Those days they used to have it. Those of us who went to, way back, if you made certain grades, then your name is tapped into the high school competition. So when they consider you, then You go and take the test. If you pass, then they take you. Those of us, some of us who participated, they replaced our name with some people. Our name will go there and see our name. Time came, our name disappeared. They put all of our name there. So we're not going to talk about those things. But that's why used to happen those days. This, I don't know what kind of encouragement our students have these days. So those are the things that Council of Gongloe is going to be looking at when you talk about the education. Since I was talking about education, I decided to talk about the 10 points and what is the education program that Council of Gongloe is going to be putting in place in the first 100 days. Now, I'm talking about first 100 days. I'm not talking about doing the 6 years that he will be, or the 12 years he will be president. That's not what I'm talking about. The first 100 days is going to be a focus on the education sector. How do we improve education? The recommendation from that committee will inform him as to what to do that can make national education a priority and that can improve not just mass education, not because plenty people know book, but the plenty people that know book, they know it very well. That's what I'm talking about. So this is something that for me, I hold dear to my heart because, listen, I subscribe to education in my life. As old as I am, I'm still going to school. So that's what make you tell me. Before I even got into school, it was a war before I go to school. My mom had to literally sneak me through the night to go to my sister in Liberia to go to work, to go to school. Because my dad didn't want me to go to school. He said, "Oh, man, let me be a brother going to school. Let him be here. He'll be helping me on the farm." The old man said, "But let me go. No, let me be here. The man will help me on the farm." My eye can't go on the farm. He will be holding my how do you call it? My tinga. You know what? I'm not English new. I call it tinga. You ain't understand. I cry with you. You ain't understand that I've been there. You hold my tinga. The basket. Carry the basket for him on the farm. My old man went, she sold some snail. She gave me small money. She said, "Get out of the town tonight before tomorrow you in Monrovia." I ran away. I went, got in on our cobble. Hey, cobble. Get on our cobble and went to Monrovia. That's how some of us go to school. Some of you're lucky that your parents wanted you to go to school. They're putting you in school and you're trying your best, but the quality of education is not there. Teachers come to school unprepared. Some of the teachers not even prepared. They come and teach one thing over and over for one whole year. So they teach one thing, fraction. They can't develop. I had a math teacher that didn't even know how to teach how do you call it, graph. I came to America when I was teaching at the high school here in Fargo here. That graph was my issue. I had to go to a special class to do graph, to be able to continue to teach it. Because graph in Liberia, they don't teach graph because the teacher doesn't know it. So some of your teachers don't know nothing. But why is it that the government is not correcting that? Because the government is not putting premium on education. But you say, you're not noble, you noble will make you president. So the man doesn't think that education is important to you. Because you say education is important. Why should the man put premium in education? Why should the man pour more money into education when you're told the man say education is not good? You made your own problem. All the man, you noble, you're not noble, I will vote for you. The Bopo, why they can Bopo can do so? They're not doing nothing for all. The Bopo are the bad people. What the man know, you already know. The man said, or people say education is not good. Why am I going to bother myself about giving the poor children education? So he didn't care about you. He didn't care about your education, your children education. He didn't care. He can put more money into it to make it quality because you made him to be that way. You told him education is important to you. So the man didn't care. Your children in school, whether they're learning good, they're not learning good. He doesn't care. Teacher come to school unprepared. How can teacher come to school when student asking question they vet? You're not able to answer the question. You ask 2-3 questions they vet. Hey, you ask 2 questions here. Shut up. Then he won't answer because he's not prepared. Then when a teacher time for test, he get different thing that he finish teaching. He not teacher, then he get different thing. Then student fail, then he get money out of it. Because the government not putting premium on education. You're told the man, he not know boy, you're want him. So remember, when I get time for education, why am I worry about? Did I care about education? I'm not going to worry myself about education. That's why you people, you need to take the decision that you need to take and decide today and say, look, we need someone who will make our children to learn and learn very well, who will put a lot of pressure on the teacher to do the right thing. I know it's difficult, just like corruption in Liberia, it's difficult to control or eradicate or remove completely this issue of teachers buying grades or teachers selling grades or teacher making tests unnecessarily hard for the student to fail. Listen, you know, those of us on the side, I never experienced the way education is done in the country. All of us, we experience the same thing. I had a teacher, I'm not going to call a name. The guy would teach us something different. Time for our chemistry. Can you imagine how chemistry hard? That mean a teacher I will study, I will know that thing. Time come for test. The man will make it hard. Teenage, that teacher you put all inside it. We don't struggle. So now say the time catch up with you. So we with the student, we had to meet with him. Say, Prof, we should call him Prof. High school teacher will call him Prof. Prof, that thing teaching us is too hard. But when you teach us, we can get it. But when the test comes, why it can be different? So we had a meeting with him first. We had a second meeting with him, and no way we went to the principal, the vice principal for instruction. We told him, say, the prof here, the other thing he teach us, but look at the test. Some people start stealing the test. Some students, when they get a test, they will say, oh, teacher, I got some here. They give you different copy. Some students start keeping that thing and will carry it to the principal. So they call the man. Why you get this and why you teach this? Because the capable, the notes he gave us. Look at why he taught and look at why he gave him. The how that man came down. Otherwise, everybody was going to fail in the class. So if we have a government like the George Weah government that has no means, it got no thinking about what quality education will be. If we have a government like Councillor Gongloe, who believe quality education, they may be teaching all your life. Your current vice president that was his student. The former chief justice that his student. The top people in government today that you will not even imagine, he been teaching all his life. So he understands what education is. And that's why in the first 100 days of the Tiawan Gongloe administration, the education sector will be the first priority to strengthen so that students will gain quality education. And if that quality education means to produce materials, education materials, to make sure that education materials are available in the schools. Now, some of the schools don't even have library, and even some of those that have library, you go there, you can't get anything out of it because the books are outdated. Nothing in our library that you can look at and say, I'm going to do my assignment and get your assignment done well. Outdated books. Books are there, they not even have to do with the lesson you're doing. It's completely different. So is it possible that the government high schools we order books and put books in there so that the student will be able to do the assignment? Is that one of the problems that we can solve? Or is it possible that we increase teachers' pay so that when teachers are to do bad things, because when they lose their job, they will be losing more than when a teacher is being paid $100. The man feel that he lose $100 when he lose a job, it's not anything. Why if you pay teacher more than $100? Why if you pay teacher $300? Why if you pay teacher $500? Then he knows that when he loses his job because he tried to take bribe in the school, it will affect him more. Therefore, he will not take the bribe. You know why people don't take people bribe people in America, but you want to bribe a police officer? You better be ready to bribe because that bribe will not be, it'll not be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Because the man looking at the benefit he's going to be losing and the jail sentence, the jail term he's going to be serving if he take a bribe from you. But any of you can give policemen $10 and $20 or whatever, yo, get away with it. Because they not respect their job. They don't respect their position that they serve in government, in the community, in the society. They don't care. You get a policeman $20, he let you go. So first of all, the reason why he stopped you or even wrong in the first place, he got no business stopping you. He stopped you only because you needed $20. A taxi driver come in, the policeman stopped the taxi driver. Why you stop the man for? No reason. Then he ask you for your license. You get a man a license, they put it in your pocket. Instead of him looking at the lesson, telling you whether the lesson either is current or is expired. No, he will not even look that. He will put it in your pocket and go start walking about where he going different place. Then you the driver, you'll have to leave your car to go running behind the man. Then you'll go there and tell him again something. You gain $20, $10, $15, $20, $50, then you get your license back. That's all. Nothing. You don't do nothing. This is why the criminal justice plan for the Tiawan run government will place more premium on police officers being trained and disciplined. Not just training them, but discipline. If the police officer are losing a job because they are taking stupid bribe, you think they want to lose their job? If they are going to jail, if they are being prosecuted and going to jail for doing something that's stupid, all the officers say, my man, I want to go to that place. I want to go to jail. I don't want to lose my job. But nothing is being done because why? We ain't give a damn about a police officer. He care. He care. You don't know what it takes to develop a police. You don't care. Senator there can slap police officer and go free. Somebody can beat a police officer, they will fight the police. I saw when I was in Moravia, I saw two guys who were fighting the policeman. I said, hey, yo, God have mercy. You fight a police officer that day, you're looking for death for yourself. These things happen. So I will not stay long tonight. I will be here. Let me see. My accountant, I'm going to meet with my accountant by now. Let me see if she's ready for me. If she's ready, I'll be going. And so if my accountant is ready, I'm going to have a meeting with her. Like I told you, I'm expanding my business in another city. So she's going to be doing 2 different jobs now. The employees are going to increase. The job load is going to increase. The financials are going to increase. So I want to meet with her. And she told me around 5 to 6. Right now, I have 3 minutes after 5. So once I get a notification from her, I'll be leaving. And that will be the show today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song. And I'm not going to play a song. I'm going to go straight to something I wanted to talk about before we go home. So we're gonna yeah, okay, no problem, Abraham. I got you. It's okay. Let me see. Maybe it's fine, no problem. I get you. So here is what we're gonna be doing. I want you to understand. I want to say something to you. The thing I want to say to you is to let you know who can beat George Weah to the ballot box. Some of you have your mind. You already made up your mind that George Weah is going to win. To you, there is no possibility that anybody can beat George Weah at the ballot box. In fact, George Weah is going to do a second term, no matter what. Nobody can stop it. I disagree. If George Weah will win at all costs, it has to be by cheating. He has to cheat to be able to win. His election commissioners will have to cheat for him, those he appointed. You know the reason why the Liberian law, when he was doing it, some of you were looking at it and think that's fun. The government, the Liberian on the election commission says that election commissioners should serve for 10 years and should not be removed. The reason was simple. If George Weah meet an election commissioner that he cannot change, definitely they will not play to his whims and caprices. They will not say we will cheat for him so he can't move us because he doesn't have the ability to move them. But George Weah came and violated all of that. Remove people and put his own people there. All right? So therefore, the election commissioner might be afraid. He might be afraid and say, well, if I don't do what he wants, He will take me from the joy and then I get a job. So they will have to cheat for him. If George Weah will have to win at all costs, that's what I mean. If he has no conscience and decide he wants to cheat to win, but that will be a very heavy thing for him to do. It will be an expensive venture for George Weah to cheat. Because when he cheats and wins election in Liberia, his government will be characterized by a lot of protests. And it's going to be difficult for him to govern because the democratic forces are going to converge against him. So George Weah should not cheat. Because he shouldn't cheat. And if he doesn't cheat, the only man who has the pathway to beating George Weah is Tiawan Gongloe. I will tell you how you're going to beat George Weah. First of all, the Liberian people want clean person. They want somebody who cannot steal to go in government. Those of you who want rogues to be in government, you're not part of that group. Those of you who sit today under my voice and praying for some kind of rogue, some kind of corrupt person to go in that seat, you're not the one I'm talking about because you are also corrupt. But the real Liberian who want the good of the country, who want Liberia to be better than what it is, they don't want rogues to be president for them. They don't want corrupt officials to be president for them. And Councillor Gongloe is one of the politicians in Liberia that is not corrupt. He is not corrupt. And because he's not corrupt, that's why nobody, all the politicians, they can say something about all of them. Oh, the other man did this. Oh, the other man did this. Oh, but you don't hear them talking about Councillor Gongloe because they don't have nothing to talk about him. When he was in government, he made sure that if he was supposed to be paid $10, it is $10 that they pay him. This is the man sometimes they send him out on a government mission. And they said, you're supposed to spend 7 days, Councillor. He said, okay. They gain 7 days per dime. He goes and spends 4 days. The 3 days per dime, he comes and give it back to the government and say, this one, and I'm my money. I bring it back. Nobody in government today that can boast of that. To say government send you outside, you spend the money, then you can't give it back to the government. Not just one time, not 2 times. May have done it several times. So this is the kind of person that Liberian people are looking for. They want somebody who is clean. They want somebody who cannot steal for themselves. They want somebody who is not greedy. That's number one strength of Councillor Gongloe. If you are going to vote on that day, I want you to remember that there's someone who you will put there that they will not steal your money. I want you to, when you cast your ballot that day, I want you to understand that there's a person who you will put there and they will not steal government money for themselves because he has set the record straight. When he will honor people and they gave him money to go, they were not asking for the money, he goes there and bring the money and give it to the people, give it to the bank, the central bank, and the central bank asks him, but why are you bringing the money back? He said, but I didn't do the other 3 days. The thing I went to do, it was not 7 days. It lasted for 4 days. So the other 3 days per dime, I can't take it because it's not my money. How many of the government officials will ever do that? How many of them have ever done that? So the Liberian people want a clean person. They want someone who cannot steal. So that's why Councillor Gongloe stands a better chance. Because Liberians who do not believe in corruption, the good Liberians are many. The good Liberians that will not want George Weah to be president because he's corrupt. He's inept. You know what inept means? I must speak English. In the position, but you're not able to do the work of the position. And you know why I believe that? I believe that George Weah is in a position he's not able to do the work of the position because George Weah is incompetent. He does not know what he's doing. He's afraid of the people around him that because they are his brain, they look at them like gods. So he's not able to change them even though they are stealing and stealing and stealing. If the U.S. government had not come to our rescue to put sanction on Magay and Bill Traore and Serena Silva, they will still be in government stealing money. Councillor Gongloe is not like that. He's not afraid of anybody who is going to steal to be dismissed because he is not corrupt. When somebody corrupt, then they don't want to dismiss anybody because they don't want their own body to chaos. You think George Weah will dismiss Samuel Twe and say Samuel Twe you corrupt? Just tell me. You think George Weah able to say Samuel Twe you too corrupt, so I'm dismissing you? Because Samuel Twe will put a butt osa. He will disclose all the secret about George Weah. So he's not able to do it. And he's not able to dismiss Samuel Twe because he know he depends on Samuel Twe for everything. That Samuel Twe is God. Samuel Twe that George Weah God. That he brain. How can you take your brain and play and mess with your brain? So you can't mess with your brain. Magay was another brain for him. But if the U.S. government was not going to come to our aid, Magay was still there stealing. Councillor Gongloe is not a rogue. That's why when you go vote on that day, remember this. Vote for someone who will protect your national coffers, your money, the money for the country. When they protect it, you know the reason why? You know the reason why some of the things that's going to be done in the various counties, some of the roads that's going to be built to connect the counties are not being done? Because people are stealing the money, putting in their own pocket. Anytime corruption is rampant, anytime people in government are corrupt, the money that government money is supposed to, the job that government money is supposed to do will not do it because some people put it in their pocket and put it in their private bank account. So that when they're not in government tomorrow, they will have enough money for them and their family. Stealing what the majority is supposed to get, one or two people put in their pocket. That's what corruption can do. The second reason why Gongloe is going to win. The second reason why Councillor Gongloe is going to win. You know, the other day I told someone in the Gongloe movement, I said, you know what? We have to be mindful when we're talking about the opposition. But there's something I want to say about the opposition. Why the rest of the opposition politicians or presidential candidate will not beat George Weah. I tell you something. Gongloe is well known in Monrovia than any of you can imagine because he represented students free of charge. He represented advocates free of charge. He represented all our politicians free of charge whenever the government of the day tried to lay hands on these people. Akaros Gray will testify that Councillor Gongloe represented him free of charge and released him from jail. Molba Malu will testify that Councillor Gongloe represented him free of charge and released him from jail. Jabasi Koje will testify that Councillor Gongloe represented him free of charge and released him from jail. The journalists in Monrovia, they will testify that Councillor Gongloe represented the President of Liberia free of charge and has released multiple journalists from jail. That is what he did. That is what he does. And that is what he will do. He will represent the interests of the people. Therefore, the people in Monrovia, advocate, people, student community, they know him. They know the caliber of man he is. So Monserrato is a trouble zone for George Weah. Monserrato is a dangerous zone for George Weah. Councillor Gongloe is more confident that Monserrato will be leaning towards him. And if George Weah will take a vote from him, Monserrato, he will have to fight for it. He will have to fight for it because Councillor Gongloe is much more known in Monserrato County than because of the things he had done. Not only that, Councillor Gongloe comes from a vote-rich county. And the vote-rich county, this is the most qualified, most competent, most clean person from Nimba County that will be seeking to be president of Liberia. I don't see how Nimbayans, I don't see how the people of Nima County will look at Councillor Gongloe, their son, a most qualified son, a most competent son, a most... Stop calling me, man, people. I'll call it Black Hole. Call me one more time, Black Hole. Okay, she called me one more time, so I got a Black Hole right now. All right, guys, I got a Black Hole. I'm sorry. Let me Black Hole. Then in the future, we can discuss. Okay. Hello? Okay. So, okay, let me play a music and bring somebody in really quick. I'll play a song, I'll bring somebody in really quick. I'll play a song and I'll bring somebody really quick.
Things were made through him, and without him, nothing was made that was made. What can't you do, Jesus? Let's go! Somebody said, name above every other name. Oh, what can't you change? What can't you change? Jesus. Tonight we celebrate God. Come on, Jesus. This was granted 100%. That makes me a difference. Nima. What did he do in Nima? What project he had in Nima before you voted for him? You voted for him just because Prince Johnson said, let's go and vote for him. You follow Prince Johnson. Just what he didn't give you nothing. Nothing he offer you. And your own son, you are asking your own son, what did he do in his village? Do you know what is going to be the name of Nima County if a son of Nima is the president of the Republic of Liberia? Do you know the benefit that come to you as a county? Oh, they make if they know how he a county or he a district, he got scholarship people. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? What 100% of the people who are here? What?
It's true that the Nima men did not go far because the Nima men refused to let him go far. The rest of Liberia is trying to put Councillor Gongloe forward, and Nima will say no. So just imagine the votes from Nima and the votes from Mosrado is already threat to George Weah. Another time, this coming Saturday, tomorrow, we'll talk about
He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him, nothing was made that was made. What can't you do, Jesus? Let's go! Creator of the universe, what can't you do? What can't you do, Jesus? Somebody say